Hello, my fellow head gaskets. Welcome to my first episode of Distracted Gaming, a series which I talk about a topic while gaming, meaning everything is unscripted and unedited. The game today is Blatant Sorcery, and the topic is the VR industry. Before we begin, I gotta do the whole disclaimer thing. Everything I say in this video is my opinion. You're free to say what you want in the comments. I do no research before a video, so I could be right or wrong about certain things. I also will not do a topic I have little to no info on. Also, before I stop reading the script I have for this intro, this background gameplay is pre-recorded. Reason why is because I couldn't get my Quest 2 mic to work on OBS. That doesn't mean I'm reading a script. Next episode, though, will not be pre-recorded. Alright, now I can stop reading words and use my big brain. Blech. So, the VR industry. Right now, what I think about it is, I don't know, like, shit, in my opinion. And I think the reason why was mainly probably the Meta rebranding and Facebook wanting to have everyone stick headsets on. I think that's what tarnished the VR industry now. But before I get to that, I just want, first I want to say what when I first got into VR. So, I used to watch PewDiePie a lot as a child. You know, I liked his Dark Souls stuff. I just liked the funny games he played. I never watched him play any scary ones. But I did watch him play on some VR experiences on his Oculus, and I thought that was so cool. And that's pretty much the last time I heard it. I've heard of the Valve Index, and then recently, 2020, 2021, I heard of the Quest. And I realized it was a affordable VR headset. So I wanted to get one badly. So I worked at the seasonal grocery store, and I was able to afford it. I got the 256 gigabyte one. It's on my bed right now, and I still use it, but it's all right. And I'm repeating things I've already said. Oh my god. Now I can't think. What I think about the VR, okay. What I think about the Quest 2 is it's good. It's a good thing for family, if you have it's a good thing for family bonding and stuff, I guess. Messing around. I use it for myself, and the only games I play on it are Blatant Sorcery, Pavlov, Beat Saber, not much, and Into the Radius. Into the Radius is my most favorite VR game. That's pretty much it, though. That's only on the Quest 2 on the app. Now, on the Quest 2, I see all the stupid stuff they have. I use none of that. I don't use YouTube VR. I don't use Netflix VR. I barely touch the shop. I don't use anything. Hell, I don't even have an avatar made. I just leave it blank because I don't care. I only want to play the VR games. And recently, I just built my PC. So now, I never play my games on there. I just put on Steam VR. And this recording of Blatant Sorcery comes from that. I'm on the new update. And on Steam VR, I play Pavlov VR, Blatant Sorcery, H3 VR, which is Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades, which is a game about guns, and then I play Hellsplit Arena. That's pretty much it. I don't play VR chat. I find VR chat gets pretty boring without personal friends that you know. I find that gets really boring. Rec Room's full of children, and other popular games Gorilla Tag, I find no appeal in that. But I will say, I have Blatant Sorcery, it's called Nomad on the Quest 2. Playing that, it was fun. It was, the graphics were obviously limited, but playing on it was still pretty fun. And then I switched to Blatant Sorcery on Steam VR, and holy shit, it is very different. The map I'm playing on isn't on Nomad. And it's my favorite map because it's not a Nomad. And that's the one thing about the Quest 2 is it's really held back by the graphics. But other than that, it's not bad, in my opinion. But let's stop talking about the Quest 2, and I was going to say something, but it's not YouTube friendly. Let's start talking about the other stuff. So, the VR industry in general, I think it's pretty good so far. There's a lot of great games. Well, before, the VR industry was just, you can look around with your head, and it was just a bunch of free experiences that are like 10 minutes long. Now we got full-on games being developed. Thought I heard something. We have full-on games being developed now, which are, like, for example, Pavlov again. I've heard one called The Ghost of Tabur. It's like an Escape from Tarkov, not copycat. It's inspired by it. You know, we have Half-Life Alyx. We have all these games. And we also have games that are game mod support, like, there's a mod for Gary's Mod to go in VR. There's Roblox. You know, it's really good. And I think VR, it's good for not just gaming, but it's good for some other things. Like, maybe like VR welding, just to experience how it is. Or, you know, developing something. Getting, like, all that stuff. There's many different advantages to having a VR other than gaming. But speaking of gaming, it's still really good for it's still really good for gaming. You know, it's a whole new experience. And before the Quest 2 came along, it was pretty expensive. A Valve Index is like $1,000 on Steam. And that used to be almost entry level, but now I think the cheapest, I think a Quest 2, I don't know what the price is now. It's like 400 Canadian. Like, it's pretty cheap. That's for like the 64 gigs. You can get started right away. But the thing I don't like about the Quest 2 is it's Facebook. So with the store and stuff, they're missing a lot of things, like a lot. Or for one instance is their game sharing. My friend wanted to share, like, I wanted to have access to his games. And game sharing, like on Xbox, for example, you just make your friend's account the main account, kind of. And it was pretty simple. On the Quest, you have to completely wipe everything and then make that his account the main account. And that could potentially wipe all your data. And I find that pretty stupid. They're also missing a lot of features that, like, basic consoles have. And, like Discord. I mean, Discord is just getting implemented into Xbox and PlayStation, but I feel like it's kind of required to be in Quest 2. And it's just, like, yeah, they're just missing a bunch of stuff. And being Facebook, they do stupid shit. I'll get to the meta eventually. But talking about the games again, I've been going back and forth. Talking about the games again, like, full-on games are being developed. They're all basically indie games. Now, there's few, like, Minecraft and stuff, but that's, like, mods. And PlayStation, they have PlayStation VR, which I've heard was pretty good. I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard it's pretty good. I still would prefer the Quest over it, but still. I need to stop talking about the Quest. I gotta talk about something else. There's nothing much to talk about other than that. Oh, overrated games. There are a handful of overrated games, and those overrated games are Rec Room, Gorilla Tag, and those are the two I can name. There's definitely more. I don't think there's more. There has to be. Overrated games. Gorilla Tag, Rec Room. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Overrated as in there's children. So I'm going to talk about Rec Room. First of all, it's pretty impressive about what's pretty impressive about Rec Room is it's on all platforms: mobile, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and the Quest 2, or the VR. And the best way to experience it is in VR. I've played it. I don't like it. It's just Roblox, but in my opinion, worse. Like, apparently, like, to make a map, it takes a while just to get basic stuff made and stuff. And, like, I get the whole appeal of it, but I just prefer, it's just VR Roblox. In my opinion, a worse version of VR Roblox. Because it's just much harder to make stuff. Like, when you compare a game from Rec Room to Roblox, so it's like the best game from Rec Room and the best game from Roblox, massive differences. Massive. Talking about Gorilla Tag, I don't get the appeal of. All it is a bunch of kids making edits and stuff. I just don't know. Thankfully, they don't pop up on my feed a lot, which I'm happy for. But it just makes I just don't get it. And for me, it's kind of hard to move around in that game. But I'm also dumb. Now, let's talk about games that I think are underrated or people drop. One of them is Blade and Sorcery. I have hundreds of hours on Blade and Sorcery, and it's because I purely love sword fighting and stuff. So when normal people play it, they're usually psychos, grabbing people's heads, smashing them and stuff. They'll play it, normal stuff. But they'll play it once and then drop it. Or YouTubers, they'll play it with a ton of mods, and then they'll only pick I get it, like lightsabers and stuff. It's pretty cool, but they also drop it, but they don't actually look at it. They don't do dungeons. They don't explore the maps. They don't, use normal swords and sword fight. Like, I don't use spells that much in the game because I like to sword fight. Even guns, I don't really like to use. And I love the brutality in the game and all of that. It's the same with BeamNG, which I'll talk about in a later video. Another game that I think, I don't think there's not much games I can think of. How about VR games I just don't really like? One of them is VR chat. And no, it's not because of the chatting, but it's just because on all the degenerates in there. That's literally it. That's it. There's nothing else to add on to that. I guess let's talk about games that now have VR support. So War Thunder is one of them. They have VR support. Now how it works is it's literally like Netflix VR or something where they just have the display on, but you can look all the way around. Now when you usually play War Thunder in VR, you usually go in the cockpit camera if you have it, so like in aviation and stuff, and you either play mouse and keyboard or you play with actual controls. I've seen a dude on a shorts in a Huey first person with actual controls with the throttle and stick, be 90 degrees firing rockets at a tank, at I don't know, a Russian tank or something, and just destroying it and flying away. It's crazy. Some other games that have VR support is, one of them is Minecraft, but that's from the community, Vivecraft. That's also pretty fun. I'm still waiting to play that with shaders, VR Minecraft. I guess we can go back to the whole Meta thing. So when Facebook announced their rebranding to Meta and how they're going to make it VR the future of interaction, I think that's when everyone lost trust in the VR industry. And I did too, because they fucked up completely on that. There's no way that's going to succeed anymore. Now when you look at Quest 2, it's just like, it's like, what were they doing? Like, when they rebranded to Meta, like, Oculus, like, the Oculus Quest 2, I think it's called the Meta Quest 2 now. And even when I go into, like, Best Buy and stuff and look at the headset on display, now on the headsets, they have the Meta logo. Mine has the Oculus logo. So I think mine can sell for 10 grand. But the whole Meta thing that happened was it just collapsed on them. And, I don't think VR, like, it's not ready to have that, like, happen yet. And I remember watching it, like, and it, like, all this stuff, like, you could be in a work area and stuff, and all this crap, like, it was just so stupid. Just play Minecraft. You want your own custom home? Just play Minecraft. Like, we don't need to be living in a virtual world yet. I think we have bigger problems. And again, he's just like, Mark is just dumb. Again, they're losing money now. They're losing people, like, how do I say it? They're just losing people. And it's going downhill for them. I've also seen the Quest Pro. When I looked at that thing, I questioned it. It was so much slimmer than the Quest 2. And yeah, and then I asked my friend if he's seen it, and I asked him about it. He said, yeah, it's pretty much dog shit, which I'm not surprised about. So that's the end of the first episode of Distracted Gaming. Tomorrow, or the next video, we'll be likely talking about vehicles and playing BeamNG, because that's the only non-VR game I have right now, because our Wi-Fi sucks. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. See you later, you piston heads.